And so I want to share with you a program that could make a difference for you, for your youth, and will also support us in this vision for 2025. And so I'm gonna be sharing a video right now, and I just pause right here and ask that we just listen to this video, and we'll have a short conversation about it after the video.
You'll find us laughing,
playing,
singing,
and talking,
You will find us hurting,
lying,
fighting,
and crying.
You will find us in homes,
in schools,
and in malls.
You'll find us in parks,
on the street,
and in churches. We are your children,
Your youth,
and your responsibility.
The call of the world continues to weaken the influence of our families and the church over us.
It is becoming harder and harder for us to hear the message of God's love.
The time is right for a decade-long emphasis on the children and youth of our world.
We don't need another program.
We don't need more events
or church camps.
We need a church that will minister to us
and incorporate us into the church family through a wide variety of means and methods.
We want and need opportunities to minister to others in ways consistent with our ages,
development, abilities, and spiritual gifts. We are disciples in training,
not disciples in waiting.
Please don't underestimate us.
We are the church of today
and the church of the future. But you're in danger of losing us. You're losing us.
You're losing us.
You're losing us.
You're losing us.
You're losing us.
You're losing us.
You're losing us.
You're losing us. You're losing us.
You're losing us.
Will you do whatever it takes to reach us?
Will you set aside your differences and meet us where we are?
Will you teach us how to live?
We are within your grasp.
You can help change our lives. Please take time to share Christ with us.
Because in 10 years, I'll be 28.
In 10 years, I'll be 20. In 10 years, I'll be 17.
I'll be 26.
I'll be 21.
In 10 years, I'll be 25.
In 10 years, I'll be 16.
I will be 24.
I'll be 19.
I'll be 22.
I'll be 25.
I will be 23.
In 10 years, I'll be 27.
The question is.
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 Question is.
Question is.
The question is.
The question is.
The question is.
The question is.
Question
The
is.
question is.
The question is.
The question is, in 10 years, will you have made a difference?
Amen. 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 I'd love to hear some thoughts around that video. If you could just share in the chat any thoughts around the video. Powerful. Anything we're getting really a very powerful video, no doubt. Call to action, reflective, daring. Those are my reactions as well. Certainly a call to action. And this is what our youth are asking us for. And Pastor Sean said it earlier. The landscape has shifted. And as the youth just said in that video, they are not believers in waiting, or they're not leaders in waiting. They're the leaders of now. They're the leaders of today. The youth that are in this landscape want to make a difference. They don't just want to be ministered to or to be served. They want to make a difference. They want to serve. They want to minister. And that is what this program is about. It's about supporting those youth to understand who they are, serve them, but then unleash them into their environment as trendsetters to shift cultures, cultures, to transform lives. That is what this program is about. And so we just want to be obedient to God tonight, in whatever it is that God is saying to us. So would it help if we create an environment for our youth that is meaningful, open? Pastor Sean spoke about being open and vulnerable and just having honest conversations, because that's what they need in this environment. They're creating, they're asking questions. Where is God? Who am I? Why am I here? And they want to have these meaningful conversations in an honest and real way. Would it help if we have those heart-to-heart connections through coaching and mentorship with compassion, not preaching at, but engaging dialogue and having those heart-to-heart connections? Would it help if we create this environment that facilitates those experiential-based outdoor activities, because they're tired online? Would it help if we create an environment where equipped to go and make a difference? Not when they're 40 years old, not when they're 30 years old, because that's what society teaches. But I've always said that when a product is created, a manufacturer doesn't tell that product, wait until 30 years from now before you can fulfill the purpose or start playing the role, the purpose of what you were created. When a phone is created, you start using it immediately. When a book is created, any product that is, you can, once it has everything within it, you can start using it immediately. And so we don't have to wait until youth are in their 30s or 40s, or according to Maslow's need hierarchy or any of those other needs for them to understand the reason for which they were created. They can understand and start living purposeful lives right now. And that's going to be the difference between those youth who are who will stay this trajectory and who will live meaningful lives and navigate this VUCA world versus those who don't. And so the Trendsetters on Purpose program is really a holistic, transformational, experiential-based life skills program that is designed to support youth 15 to 18 years. You're welcome to use it for youth that are older than 18. But we recommend 15 to 18 years to help them understand their purpose and honor their potential, and instill within them the desired mindset and Christ-centered identity DNA. And in the program, we explore areas such as identity, such as purpose, including gifts and strengths assessments and such, using life skills training and experiential learning approaches, supporting them to develop a growth mindset and developing the habits that will help them to quote their purpose, and then support them to come up with that purpose-driven career planning, or that is aligned with their calling. And so it is done there are two aspects to it. The first one that you're seeing here could be done in 6 to 8 weeks. And those are what you call shared life skills workshop. It's a workshop type event, but it's experiential based. So we adopt what we call whole life coaching. Sean knows very well about this. He uses it a lot as well in ministry, where you facilitate him, and as you after facilitating the games, then you debrief by asking really meaningful questions to help them to pull out key lessons and key principles and key learnings that they get to apply in their life. And we have seen that approach has proven to be a lot more sustainable than the approach where we are telling them and teaching them everything when they discover it for themselves, because this generation is a generation that wants to discover things for themselves. So give them a project, let them figure it out, and they will learn a lot more so than us standing up front and teaching them. So that's a part of that's the approach that's taken in the workshop. And then that is paired with mentorship, and that's either small group or one-on-one mentorship to kind of embed the principles and such that would have happened in the 6 to 8 weeks. And the mentorship is the second part that you're seeing here. It's recommended to be around 4 to 6 months. You could connect with them on a monthly basis to kind of represent and refresh the principles and such that they would have learned in the 6 to 8 week workshop. And then the aim is we want to see God's kingdom manifest. We want to see better quality of life for our youth. And so the challenge tonight is that, yes, be introduced and have access to these resources. But let's not just be comfortable and content using it for the youth within our church, but we have communities that we're a part of. God may be calling us to some at-risk youth, young men, young women that needs to hear this as well, and needs to step into a better quality of life, such that we see national transformation for Jamaica. So that's what level 1 is about, where there's whole life coaching skills that's used to engage them. Moving into level 2, which is the 6 months of mentorship, and that's optional for you if you want to go into. That's highly recommended, but it's optional. And then, as we know, that will lead to kingdom transformation. Let me see if any questions in the chat. Wonderful. Called to the schools, anywhere we are called. Definitely. Let us, this program can be used, because we operate in schools as well, and we will be going in the schools. So in whatever sphere you're called, whether in Jamaica or outside of Jamaica, you can adapt this curriculum and use it to impact the youth that you're called to serve. And then following the 6 to 8 weeks, you get to decide. You can decide whether you would want to encourage them towards what does the calling look like? Is it within the area of purposepreneur? And I call it purposepreneur as opposed to entrepreneurship. It could be further career coaching within their calling. It could be helping them to become employable. It's the area that they need to get into. And there are many other ideas that you could move into after you walk them through the 6 to 8 week workshop. The other part that you're seeing here is this outreach project. We highly recommend that, and it will come out. It really will come out as they are thinking through us. And you'd be amazed to see some of the things that comes out of our youth in terms of the dreams and the calling that they believe God has placed within their lives. But you want to encourage them to get active right now. So if it is in schools, what difference can they make in their school right now? If it's their communities, what difference what small projects, what things, how can they get in action right now to transform their school? And then for the 6 to 46 mentorship, there is a methodology that will introduce to you called Think We Do Have. I know there are persons on this call that is not hearing this for the first time. We want to help them to understand how their thoughts produce the results that they are seeing in life. And if they want different results, then they transform their mindset, totally transform their heart, transforming their way of being, transforms their actions, and then the results. And so those are some of the principles that you engage them around on the mentorship journey to support them to continuously walk in purpose. And we believe that having gone through those sessions with an understanding of purpose, having gone through some amount of mentorship, someone walking closely with them and encouraging them, it will support them to develop those habits, and that mindset to continuously walk on this journey. And when that happens, as you can see here, we're seeing trendsetters on purpose all across them, transforming their spheres, their communities, and transforming Jamaica. In terms of the curriculum for the 6 weeks, the topics, we start with chosen, just like Sean said with Paul, helping them understand you're chosen. We go into identity, purpose, helping them to understand that they are influencers, and they get to decide how they influence their peers and their spheres, whether positive or negative. They work out their purpose plan. We help them to understand some of the challenges that they will face. And one of them is, for example, in the digital world, what digital footprints are you leaving, and how will that catch up with you later, and the impact, and then we move in liberation in the 6 weeks. So in a nutshell, that's what the curriculum looks like. This model is really the mentorship model. In training, we go more in depth in this, so I won't go in detail with it, but this is what we call the path model. You would be introduced to have those mentorship conversations with them. And in terms of the session materials and resources, as we would have mentioned in our promotion for tonight's session, there's the guidelines for the sessions are already written in terms of a script. Each session outline is written with specific time breakdowns for that. The content and delivery guidelines are already packaged, will need to be repackaged somehow, but they are already to a large extent ready and available for youth leaders to implement. The session materials, videos, slides. So for example, videos similar to the one that I just shared, you get videos like those. The experiential games and the activity, the questions to debrief those games, all of those things are available in the session materials. And there will also be access to an electronic workbook for the participants. And it's electronic, it's a PDF, fillable PDF, so they are free to type in it on their computer. But for those of us who, and we found that engagement increased when we had the actual book physical where they were able to write in. But we'll make available the electronic version for you, and then you can choose whether you use the electronic version or you will print it for them. And this is just an example of the impact that it is having in children's homes right now. We're excited about the heart-to-heart connection. That's the most important thing for them. They want to just connect with people on a heart-to-heart level. And that's what Sean said, compassion, heart-to-heart, most important. But these are some of the impact that it's having in the youth that we have done it with children's home over the last 2 years. Some of the lessons that they have learned, and they are the ones who said this. We did not, these are open-ended questions, and they are sharing the principles that they got, which means they understood it. They did not just understand it. They were able to internalize it and actually share about it, where they're saying they understand that one key life lesson, I have a purpose. Another one, for my identity, I must remove my mask, be myself. Right now, we're seeing 72% of them saying, yes, I want to live my purpose and make a difference. And that's huge. So we want this tool available to you. You're seeing on this slide some of the experiential activities, and then you're seeing small group conversations to debrief those activities. And all of this will be available to you. Now, what will it take in terms of partnership? As the youth worker, whether in schools or in church or anywhere you want to implement, the role would be for you to attend the trainings that we will facilitate. We'll provide the materials and make them available to you. It then becomes your responsibility to enter and enroll the youth if they are not already within your sphere. So say, for example, you work with youth, but you feel like you're called to reach out to the community in which your church operates. Then you engage and enroll those youth. It will also be the responsibility of yourself and your team to identify funding and the resources to execute the program. So everything is designed for you and ready to be implemented. It really is just identifying the funding. And where it's not funding, if it's people resources, or we know how we can get creative around coming up with necessary to implement programs, then you can identify those. And then just pull your team together and prepare and execute the sessions on a weekly basis. And then for IDP, what we'll do, we're providing training for your facilitators and mentors, and then provide access to the curriculum. From a cost perspective, there are two options that I'll introduce to you. There is the 6-month program where you can have as I mentioned, that's the 6-week workshop plus 4 months of mentorship. And if you're doing this with 25 youth and you have 3 volunteers to do that, those come with options as well in terms of costing. If you are going to do the program and you use the electronic version, so you're not printing the workbook, your cost could look anywhere between $150,000 to $300,000. But if you're going to include the workbook, because of the printing cost, it's likely to be around $380,000. And if it is that your organization wants to print the workbook, but you also want to engage a part-time admin, providing small stipend for them to just run this program, that could cost you around $530,000. So that's one option if you're doing it for entire 6 months. If you want to just do it for summer, for example, and you're just doing it for 6 weeks, you're just doing the workshop and you're not doing the mentorship aspect, for 25 you have 3 volunteers. Giving you options again, if you want to exclude the workbook, that will cost you around $120,000 to $200,000. If you want to include the workbook, then you're seeing that rounding off at around $280,000. And if you want to engage a committed resource on a part-time basis, pay them a small stipend, that could round you up to about $340,000. the program is designed in such a way that you get to decide what the cost will be. So for example, we may propose a budget for giveaways, but you decide to come up and be more creative with your giveaways, right? And it might cost you less. So you get to decide what the budget is. We just propose what we are estimating